Vince, we've got two hard-hitting teams, two fast-paced maps coming in, Cash and Dust 2. I think that's the most exciting element of the whole thing here. Mousesports are finally warming up in the tournament, so Snacks have a decent performance, Sunny's looking electric, but FaZe, can they be toppled at this point?
It's really hard to say. I mean, they did kind of touch on this in the desk a little bit, that both teams have looked shaky at parts, but the FaZe we saw yesterday was a cut above. Although Mousesports also, should be mentioned, they played pretty solidly, but it was against the Hellraisers with Voxic just coming back. The economy was a little bit dodgy in parts too, but I think we are definitely poised for what could be a sick best of 3.
I absolutely agree. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're just getting ready. It looks like we're just going to get all the players on the server. Mousesports just connecting still. The analysts seem to think it's going to be a 2-0, so that means they have to take Cash and then Dust 2. Do we feel like, to be fair, I don't really see that much of FaZe's Cash. I haven't seen much Cash this tournament, to be fair. Mousesports surely feeling confident in this one. Jacob seems to think that Snacks could be the pivotal factor. Do we think we've seen enough of Snacks yet to justify him being able to go toe-to-toe with these guys?
He definitely played better yesterday, but I think the jury is still out on Snacks, to be completely honest with you.
Yes.
It was mainly Sunny and Rops that were god tier yesterday, not Snacks. He was doing a good supporting role, I guess, but I mean, going back quite a while when VP played this map a little bit, Snacks was one of their key members. He was very good over on the B side in the likes of Vent, so that could be something to watch out for.
That's very true. He was a bit of a Vent maestro, wasn't he? And we're going to speak about Guardian as well. The AWP battle's always going to be interesting here. Guardian versus Oscar, and then to some extent Chris J as well. It's always going to be a lot of fun. Guardian, famously when he's in Na'Vi, didn't ever play Cash. It's still a map there. He's only been playing for about a year and a half at this point at professional level, which is quite weird to consider, but he's definitely taken to it very well in recent months. I'm excited to see what he can do. Oscar, I don't think we've seen the very best of him this tournament. He's definitely not been bad, but the skill set we know he has is definitely not being realized at this point. I don't think he had a couple of awkward moments yesterday. Running through Molotovs and stuff, couldn't really get going, but I'm not sure. You can never underestimate Oscar, and that's always going to be quite the tantalizing battle, isn't it?
Especially when you have Cash and Dust 2 that are coming up, which can be up as playgrounds and paradises. So if he has a good game today, then yeah, he could be the determining factor. I know you kind of touched on it a little bit, but I actually could see this going to a 3-mapper.
Trained to decide. 3 maps would be excellent here. We've only had 2-0s today so far in the quarterfinals, but this is 2 international squads. It's kind of it's indicative of where CSGO is going. Like a couple of years ago, you wouldn't imagine these rosters would ever work. 2 completely different nations just going at it, like 5 individuals coming together. Usually with CS teams we have just 5 from one nation, 5 Danes or 5 Swedes and stuff. You wouldn't think this would ever work, but it shows you how international the game's got and how people want to just bring together the best possible players, not necessarily with the most synergy.
Yeah, I think the key point of that is Snacks. For the longest time, it seemed like he was always going to stay with Polish teams, and yet here we are. And I know a lot of people would say, are the rest of VP going to follow suit? I guess only time's going to tell, but we've had the knife round come and go, Henry. We're getting close.
We are getting very close indeed. Looks like Mousesports will be starting on the CT side of Cash. You can see the huddles coming through. Olaf Meister returning in his home city, looking to put on a bit of a clinic here today. I hope he can perform. He used to be one of the absolute best players on this particular map. I've casted some absolute godlike performances from him. I can reminisce from 20-0 performances he's had on the T side of Cash. Hopefully we can see him put on a bit of a show today. That's always a lot of fun. Mousesports won't be going for the huddle just yet. You can see there's Sunny, the absolute star, I would say, so far in this tournament for Mousesports. This guy has been playing like a god and getting them out of some very difficult situations. He definitely can go toe-to-toe with the likes of Nico on his day, and that's going to be another talking point as well. If Nico can realize the true potential he's had throughout this tournament, we thought it was like almost career best form. Like if he could keep that up like he showed against Optic, for example, I think like Mousesports could be in a lot of trouble. They definitely have had players that have peaked, but others that have dropped off. So Rops yesterday would have one very good map, and then the second he would go hovering in the 5 or 6 frags mark. Looks like they are almost ready to go. Carrigan, very good in-game leader on this particular map. Likes to use himself as bait, throw himself into bomb sites while his teammates are ready on the other side of the map. Watch out for that, but this is all about the mind games. They've watched each other's demos. Huge game here. Remember, the Grand Slam on the line for FaZe as well. Quarterfinals, got a few more steps to go just yet for those $1 million, but there's the man that's going to be trying to stop them. There's Oscar. Very, very strong, flashy AWPer, like we said. Very similar to Guardian in that respect. It's going to be a lot of fun to see how this one transpires.
Sunny, the player that really shone for me yesterday, over 50 kills in 2 maps.
That wasn't bad, was it?
In that BO3, ended up just being a 2-mapper. That's how comfortable Mousesports were in the end.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, two international star-studded rosters about to put on an absolute show for your delight and delectation. Please make some noise. Mousesports versus FaZe. Cash will be your first map. We're into it. FaZe will be practicing up the P250. They want that range advantage. We'll have two smokes, the Molotov, the flashbangs. Guardian and Karrigan do not have armor. They're going to be a lot more squishy than their teammates. And Snacks, he's got the defuse kit for Mousesports. We'll have a look as to where they're going. Looks like a fast A push from FaZe. Couple of smokes in the default positions. Flash through. Sunny and Oscar to defend. Rain alone in the squeaky door. And his four teammates ready to pounce at A main.
Rain going to be filing in with the solo mission, but you're hoping from FaZe's perspective they can at least get some damage done before they do push this side. Molotov to the back of Quad. It's going to isolate Sunny from the rest of his team, but he came in with one, and that's going to be all she wrote for him. And now Oscar has the arduous task of holding on for dear life, but he is going to succumb to the same fate. It's looking too easy for FaZe. 4-on-2 retake.
Yeah, Chris J and Snacks have got their work cut out for them now. Snacks does have the kit, but 4 kills to find. Chris J has to be the linchpin in this one. He's coming from A main, but look at their setup. They've got a boost towards Quad. Crossfires on the side, but Chris J shuts down too! How is this happening? He will be dropped by Rain, but Snacks now still has a chance. Chris J has set him up.
It was absolutely sick. Now Snacks has to go in and try and rinse and repeat. It's not quite going to go as crispy for him. The time is dwindling. He does have the kit, though, by his side, and he's going to get the side swipe onto Rain, but Nico from Forklift will be his demise. Those 2 shots from Chris J were absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, we said he had to step up there. He certainly delivered. That was absolutely beautiful. You are right, Vince. Look at that. 2 one-taps with the USP. He deserves to win the round of those shots alone, but wasn't meant to be. FaZe with the fast A push, like we said. Sunny had a nice shot to open things up, but great trades. That's what we always talk about in CS. Trade potential. You've got to be in there, right behind your fallen teammate, making sure the CTs can't get multi-frags there. So very well done. Just to know, it's not a full investment here from Mousesports. They have got upgraded pistols, but they haven't gone all in the armor. We've discussed this a lot throughout this tournament. I feel like this is the way the game needs to be played. You need to make sure you have your utility, you have your AWPs, especially if you're considered the underdog in this particular matchup. So, FaZe with 2 rifles. They've got the AK-47s, 3 SMGs. Nothing too flashy has to come in here. You don't want to be rushing. You just want to be going for the default, assessing the situation, get that intel, go in together, go for the 1 pick. That's normally the main objective. Mid control, see if you can find a 5 versus 4, then go in together with a basic execution. Nothing too flashy required. As you mentioned, Snacks loves to hover around the vents, and that's where he's watching right now. Karrigan could find himself a spot of bomber here. Good flashbang, good teamwork, and he'll find the opening pick.
Should be converted into the bomb plant and indeed the round victory. No CTs currently on the B side, so will be easy picking. Sunny, Chris J and Rops have just got to bide their time and maybe try and save these pistols for the next round. 2 Deagles, of course. As you say, not investing too much, especially when you have a team where you're expecting to see at least 2 ops in play. Chris J, Oscar and Snacks can all use the gun to very strong effect. Chris J going to be making a move through, though. He has the USP, it's the expendable weapon. He doesn't save it, no problems. On the hunt to just take somebody down and hope the bomb will do the rest. But it seems that FaZe will navigate their way out of this second round without any losses.
It was quite nice, wasn't it? That's pretty much as good as it's ever going to get for an anti-EK. Remember, it's not the force buy from Mousesports, so you've got to take it with a grain of salt in that respect. They don't have the armor. They are going to be dropping like flies, especially to those MAC-10s and UMPs. But it's up to Rops now to try and save his team. I don't think that's going to be happening. Olaf Meister snips him out towards Quad, and it's just Sunny now. He has got Kevlar, so it's very beneficial that he can save that into the next round. And he certainly will. There we go, 2-0 for FaZe, though. As we get into round number 3, should be pretty much the full EK here. Maybe a couple of P250s, considering they didn't spend too much cash in the previous round. But FaZe, pretty much rinse and repeat, Vince. Just default the start, get that mid control, split towards a bomb site, 1 person watching the flanks. Pretty much all you have to do. You want to be using your utility. It might seem like a waste of cash, but you just don't want to risk giving anything away. If you give some of the players on Mousesports an AK-47 for free because you've been a little bit careless, that can snowball out of control very quickly. A player like Sunny in the right position could find 2 or 3 frags very quickly. That sounded like a kill, but it's just right through the wall there. Only does a little bit of damage.
Yeah, a bit of tap from Rain and also Snacks. Snacks down to 34, courtesy of a grenade. And it is going to be a set play onto B. Rops up close to the P250. Not going to be able to get too much done. And although Snacks did do significant damage to Guardian and Rain in the end, it's not going to stop them from getting onto the bomb and getting another round under their belt. However, it's all about the next round. Well, we're expecting to see more firepower in play. Sunny, the Antique Eagle at this stage, has been around for a while. In a 1-on-5. Any damage he can do will be a nice juicy bonus. But this will be FaZe taking a brisk 3-0 lead in the first map of Cash.
Sunny, once again, the last player remaining. Desert Eagle. Very proficient with it, but again, might as well save it at this point. Not going to happen. Nico takes him down. Bit of overkill there towards the end. Vince, what do you think about that? Trying to get in his head, perhaps?
Yeah, maybe just getting under the skin a little bit.
Yeah. It's like, I don't care about you, and he's going to shoot their body as well. Either way, 3-0 for FaZe. Great start, as good as it's ever going to get. But remember, Mousesports not investing fully in that second round. They now have the double orb set up, and it's quite a tantalizing one. Chris J and Oscar. It's so fun to watch when they get going. Chris J normally plays towards that B-bomb site. Oscar patrolling middle. The smoke comes down, but you can boost behind it, exactly like they're going to do here. But FaZe will be aware of this. Surely they're not going to give him easy shots towards this area, but they've got out towards middle very quickly as Oscar desperately looks for any sort of picks he can get here, trying to look towards the vent. And indeed, the boost hits the first shot, but only in the kneecap. Rain down to 25 HP.
Yeah, but unfortunate, but that's the only opportunity he has. Could only see the kneecaps and the ankles. On the top of the smoke, there goes Oscar onto Guardian. Orpa on Orpa, confrontation goes the way of Mousesports, and now Sunny's going to put his M4 to use. Olof is the only player from FaZe to counteract, but the bomb has been planted in amongst the ruckus and chaos.
Oh, good Molotovs. They do stack as well, Vince, so that's going to hold them off for a long time. Cannot run through those. It allows FaZe just to reposition now.
And smoking that car would be a nightmare too. You actually really ruin your own vision. So that's why they're just waiting for those smokes and the Molotovs to dissipate. Olofmeisters came in for yet another one. Time is going down ever so quickly. He'll finally bite the dust, but has the damage already been inflicted?
Kits.
They can't do it.
Yeah, they can't.
FaZe are going to pick up a 4-0.
That's unbelievable. It looked like a Mousesports round. I have to say, though, if you think about it, the fact that Mousesports had no kits, as soon as those Molotovs dropped towards the van, they either had to push through those and try and take all the damage, but with two of them down, they just couldn't justify it. They didn't have the kits, and even with the man advantage, Olofmeister finding a couple of picks here was absolutely everything. I did say Cash is one of his absolute best maps. You can see his positioning, his awareness, everything is there. He does everything perfect to win the round. It will go in favor of FaZe, but Mousesports do save significant weaponry. The double orb setup is back out once again. It was the best decision to make. They wouldn't have won the round without the defuse kit available to them. Just too much time had transpired. Carrigan, though. UMP's got $9,000 and he's still on the UMP, just making sure he's as frugal as possible. Oscar now potentially could be flashed in to either the main entrance or towards Squeaky Door. Gonna nail that shot, no problem whatsoever, and fall back to the safety of the bomb site.
Mouse did get the opening pick in the last round too. We know how that ended in actual fact. It's the exact same way. Rops has got himself 1-2, but here comes Olof with two of his own, and he is kicking this map off in style. He moves to about 7 kills, indeed 7 and 3. And isn't enough though to get FaZe back into this round. Rain perched up on the catwalk. Has Guardian to play with, who has just chipped in for a kill onto Sunny. Things getting interesting once more. Just under a minute to play with, so plenty of time for the tees. They don't have to feel rushed to go into a sketchy position. Chris J round the corner of Dardo's going to strike. What the hell happened there, Chris? Where's the communication? No! That's going to cost them dearly. Not like this, Mousesports.
Oh, the communication's falling apart. That's going to make them crumble, Vince. That's a very basic call as well. Either Oscar didn't communicate he was at the top of the ladder. It was because I think Rain was up there before. Potentially they thought it was as well. It's obviously a very quick shot and a communication breakdown has occurred there. But 5-0 for FaZe. This is looking disastrous now for Mousesports. They still have weaponry. Those Snacks has got the orb now. I don't understand that decision. He can use the weapon, but you've got two much more experienced Orpers than him ready to go. Let's see if it works out for them. He'll be currently holding towards the B bomb side, looking for him to cross over, but still Mousesports with the maximum loss bonus can bring together somewhat of a bite, but they've got 1 smoke grenade, 3 flashbangs at the 1:30 mark. That really is not ideal.
I'm still a bit shocked at what just happened, Henry, and they've got to put that to the back of their minds right now. As you say, though, there is a lack of utility across the board for Mousesports. A round they simply had to win. If they lose this, they are flat out broke again, with FaZe potentially on a 6-0 lead.
Yeah, this is not been pretty for Mousesports. They've been unlucky as well. When rounds that they should be winning, they didn't have the kit, for example, and then the team kill comes through. It's just been a series of unfortunate events. Either way, still a 5-on-5 for now as we go under the 1 minute mark. This looks like potentially a mid-take once again from FaZe. You can see them getting ready towards B as well. That's the smoke for the connector. Rain will deploy that. There's actually no mid-presence whatsoever from the CTs. They've actually gone for a bit of a stack towards A. So FaZe will have very valuable part of the map at 30 seconds there. I would say the B split looking likely. Olofmeister still holding B, but Carrigan rotates with the bomb back towards A here. So Rain could be setting himself up to go towards Highway. Flashbang is being deployed now, 20 seconds. Sunny watching his position. Might be able to take him down as Rain tries to recover from the flashes.
The CTs can't take anything for granted though. The first couple of kills have gone their way. Doing the best to make amends for that previous misstep. And it looks like it's going to go convincingly in their favor. Nico's going to do a bit of damage on his way out, but Mousesports, welcome to the scoreboard, their first round. They've got to build off this though, Henry.
They really have got to avoid the reset at this point. 3 players did survive for Mousesports. FaZe with a slight fake towards A there. Rain showing presence towards short. But Sunny, as we said, he's in impeccable form right now, hitting a very exciting headshot towards the Highway position. His teammate's going towards A, but that towards B, sorry, snack to the AWP works out perfectly. He has it back towards Chris. And we get into round number 7 here. Money starting to dwindle actually for FaZe. 5-1 up, but the weapons back over. It was a good spawn available for one of the terrorists, so Guardian gets the all back in his favor. Chris J, this is a bit of a calling card of his, loves to be aggressive towards B, especially pushing through that smoke. No one there just yet, but he could get an opportunity of a kill right now.
Olofmeister playing with fire, but he's just going to hold the line. Similar position to where he was in the last round, just watching for a flank from Mousesports, looking for information. But a lot more utility now to play with. 4 smokes, one of which has just been tossed out. Being counteracted by FaZe. A cloud of smoke being deployed into mid. And not for the first time, FaZe are getting inroads into mid pretty easily. These gaps are going to have to get plugged out, you have to feel, if this continues to happen. Rop's going to be having a quick peek around the corner of vent. Meanwhile, Oscar has broken the deadlock here in round 7, but Guardian instantly answers back onto Rops.
Yeah, that was Guardian boosted up. Great job there to equalize the situation. Speculative shot there towards the smoke and the connector. Obviously not going to connect, but Olofmeister right at the mouth of the B bomb site. Remember, it's Chris J who's playing at the headshot position with the orb now. Rain once again being thrown in. This is what Carrigan's role used to be. It looks like Rain, they've changed things up. He's the one who goes in now and tries to make kills happen, and maybe this is why, because he's got the potential to find those headshots and pull rotation. Chris J, it's worked perfectly. As soon as he tries to rotate, Carrigan's there to take him down. And what happens here? 10 seconds remaining. Oscar will find Rain, but it could be too late because the bomb that's being planted in B, Vince.
No kits, no nades. And therefore, Mousesports, no hope.
And that's really fascinating. Like I said, Carrigan usually doing that sort of role, but if you think about it, sure, he could maybe show some sort of presence, but he's not always guaranteed to get a frag. Rain's got a much higher chance of getting in there, using his aim, his talent, his great movement to find that opening kill, and maybe even a bit more. And that's what pulled the rotation from B. As soon as it happened, you saw Chris J unsure what was going on, had to move out, caught out of position, and I think that's a really nice little adjustment from FaZe, is having a bit more firepower on those fakes. Seems to be working out much better. Carrigan just be part of the pack, make sure everyone's going in at the correct timing. So that's cool to watch, as we will see FaZe now reset Mousesports quite significantly. They are going to save 2 AK-47s. They will force up around those, I would imagine. Maybe scouts have to come out. I would say a tactical timeout almost required at this point, and indeed it is. Mousesports will call that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 6-1 in the first map of our best of 3. It's only going to get better from here. We've got Cash to kick things off, then Dust 2. These two teams in that particular map, very fast-paced. There's going to be lots of power plays, mid-picks coming through. It's going to be absolutely epic. But for now, FaZe really are running away with Cash. We're looking at the money right now. Like I said, I'm pretty sure they'll force into this round. They've got enough to get one more rifle, maybe a scout and some SMGs. As the unpause comes through, they are distributing the wealth accordingly. Guardian still in the AWP. We can check him with the scoreboard, normally do on the first pause. Olofmeister 8-4. He has played very well at the top for Mousesports. Is Oscar on 6-4. The bottom, Rob's 1-7. He sometimes does have these maps where he is absent and he needs to pick himself up here. And this is the shot. 149, you'll see it come through. Doesn't connect this time, but always worth a go.
Rain straight out into mid. No lurking this time, just pure entries. Nico's going to be alongside him. And they have perforated through mid again. Guardian is going to chip in, and Oh man, Mousesports, after going for that tactical timeout, going for the force buy, it's completely backfired. Snacks and Sunny are going to have to pull some serious magic out of the hat if they want to pull this one back.
I think you might be right there. It'd have to be a miracle, I would say, at this point. Snacks and Sunny, 5 versus 2, no real damage inflicted, and that's FaZe just abusing the fact they've been quite slow-paced and methodical so far. As soon as the pause comes in from Mousesports, you know they're going to be adjusting and trying to cling on to whatever small finances they have. You hit them with a hard-hitting, fast-paced round towards middle, they're not going to be ready for that. You haven't shown that yet. They're just adjusting to what you've been displaying so far. Rain helps himself towards middle, completely eviscerates whoever's waiting towards short, and the round was pretty much over at that point. They take over. The bomb's not even planted yet. They're just making sure they hunt for everyone first. They're just going to keep everyone alive, take down everyone with them. This is great. The discipline coming through. A lot of teams would be tempted just to run through and think, oh, guys, we're gonna kill them whatever happens. But they're making sure they save every single penny here. Rain covering the flanks. He's got information as to where Sunny is, but ultimately not going to be a huge factor in the round here.
Yeah, with 2 players left, it stands to reason that FaZe would assume both those players are together. But Snacks and Sunny, they're not actually going to... Okay, now they are. For a second, I thought they were going towards Car. I was like, hold on a second, boys.
They fancy it. So to be fair, they've got $1,900 coming into their bank accounts next round. So saving the 2 AKs again, I don't think they'll force it. That's how you get yourself in a real financial rut. They'll probably just get P250s to go with these. And they've got decent utility as well. You can see Molotovs there, smokes, flashbangs, definitely worth the save here. A lot of valuable kit, especially those AKs. Players like Sunny and Snacks with AK-47s with the ability to go for the one-taps and go for those audacious pushes at the start of each round, certainly worth saving. And they weren't going to win this round. And exits aren't really going to matter for them at this point because the money's going to be in a very comfortable spot for FaZe after this round victory. All hovering around the $7,000 mark. They've got a couple of rounds in the bag here. Remember, this is one of the few maps we could say is T-sided. It's not by much, a couple of percent in it, I would say. But still, FaZe doing a very good job so far. Mousesports still could come back and win the half. We don't normally get too carried away until we get to like round number 13 or 14. We can see where this one's heading. But they do not force buy at all. Like I said, Mousesports can't justify that right now. They're going to take 3 full eco players. Snacks and Sunny. We'll have the AKs. Guardian, nice fast pick towards middle, takes down Oscar.
A terrifying prospect for me for Mousesports here is they have not been able to take control of mid whatsoever. In this round, sure, they've got pistols, they're playing really aggressively, almost with no fear, but I want to see what they do when the rifles are in play. Speaking of rifles, Sunny has claimed a kill onto Guardian, albeit at the cost of 84 of his hit points. And this is where FaZe can just slow it down, get methodical again, play that disciplined brand of Counter-Strike, and get across the finish line with his little casualties as possible. Snacks hasn't been tagged just yet. Could be called upon to make something special and spectacular happen later on, but he is on B by himself. Meanwhile, no CTs other than Sunny on very low HP watching A. And it does seem like they're going to be flirting with the idea here, FaZe, of going for it. Carrigan, the bomb carrier, just checking behind them. Sunny's going to get bolstered up by Chris J. Time starting to become a bit of a nuisance now for the terrorist. Out goes Olof, he does take a dink, but he's good for the kill.
Oof, Chris J's going to do very well here to do much more than a little bit of damage. He has to wait on the side with that USP. Down he goes. And a nice plant coming in here. It's not ideal, this plant, but it's better than the very default one. And just gives you a little bit more protection when you're not 100% sure what's around the corner. Snacks and indeed Sunny, better off to saving their AKs here. Not going to win this round, very similar situation to the previous. And they get a couple of kills, well, actually get 1 kill, and it's actually quite significant damage. Unlucky not to get more than that, as Snacks will be heading towards the back of the B side. 8-1 in favor of FaZe. They have looked fantastic through this tournament. The only hiccup, I guess, was against Heroic. They still won. But it went to overtime. No one really expected that.
Yeah, 19-17 in the end, I believe it was. Very close. Heroic showing that they were no pushover in this tournament, but of course, Nip on home soil did best them and move through to the semi-finals. In terms of this map, though, it has been every part as one-sided as the 8-1 scoreline would suggest. Snacks and Sunny should be able to hold on to their AK-47s. Indeed, they shall. And it's going to be joined by some M4s. There is enough funds to get 2 AWPs in play. It would see Oscar drop to a glass cannon, but Chris J's already gone in for his, and Oscar decides to pick up an M4. So they're going to trade that out for Oscar on the AWP, but only one of them.
AWP gets shuffled around once again. We've had Chris J, Snacks, and Oscar use it. Sometimes Oscar can lose his confidence at points if he feels that he's not getting into the game and hands it over to Chris, or maybe even Snacks at this point. But for now, he's got it in his hands. Oscar is top fragging right now, 6 and 6. Sunny and Co holding towards A. No significant changes from Mousesports. Rob still holding that white box, and there is a leg shot coming through towards Nico there. And looks like the A execution coming in thick and fast from FaZe.
Oh, I was going to say Oscar's going to be called on, but his head's been removed, courtesy of Rain, who is belligerent on his aggression. Rob's still struggling to get any kind of footing in this map. He's going to be leaning on Sunny to clean up as many players on the approach as possible, but it's another post-plant scenario with 4 terrorists remaining, albeit Nico and Carrigan getting low, but Carrigan is going to fight back with the AK headshot. It's going to be very difficult for the CTs to push now. They have no grenades remaining. Olofmeister is still batting it down from Highway. Nico perched in Squeaky, and Rain playing Possum very patiently on quad. Olof going to make a move up Highway to change his angles, and that's going to yield him a kill alongside Rain. And they have shut off this round, 9-1.
That is just absolutely beautiful textbook Counter-Strike from Olofmeister. He doesn't overcommit. He doesn't risk the round. He just makes sure he does whatever he has to get in the back lines there. He knows they've got the man advantage. They've already found that first kill. The bomb is down. He waits for about 10 seconds or so before he commits to this peek. Nice shot in the back. Then removes himself from it. He knows he's going to take the aggro, and then his teammates can peek as soon as he does that. It makes things so horrible. It's called a pincer play. As he comes in the backtracks, his teammates can then react to that and punish anyone trying to go for the retake. There's so much chaos going on there. The bomb's ticking away, and Olofmeister just taking them down one by one in the back. Really enjoyed that push. Mousesports now really are in a world of trouble. They came out to maximum loss bonus once again. They do have another buy. They're going to have 1 AWP, 1 M4. This is a little bit of a horror show of a buy. I can see they've got 2 USPs, the Deagle there. They'll have to do whatever they can with this. It's looking a little bit questionable as Oscar now will try and find the opening pick. They have got maximum loss bonus next round. They can still buy, but Snacks has gone down.
Worryingly for Mousesports, they are missing shots that you'd ordinarily expect to land. Oscar, more often than not, would be connecting onto the toxic barrel side. Sunroom, but instead, FaZe come out again with the opening 2 picks. Taking no prisoners. Just carnage left in their wake for this entirety of Cash. Sunny, Chris J, and Rops, who is, by the way, 1 and 10. I only highlight that because he was one of their key star players yesterday against our Razors, and he just hasn't got started so far here.
Really hasn't. Rops 1 and 10. Chris J does find the AWP, but Vince, it just feels like this round's already over. 5 versus 3. They have no nades, no defuse kits, and it was a bit of a partial buy. They tried to take a bit of risk. Oscar's been known to do this. If he has extra cash and his teammates are eco, he sometimes can carry rounds single-handedly, just not showing the same sort of numbers we used to from him. And down goes another M4. So like I said, they're still all hovering around $2,000. They'll all get 3,400 into the next round. They can still buy. It's not the end of the world, especially if they save his AWP. Just no real kills coming in. We're going into the 12th round, and the top frag is on 7 and 7. That really does not bode well. Rops finds his 2nd kill of the map so far, taking down Carrigan, and he'll go down eventually. And Chris J, if he saves this one, I'll be very impressed. He's going to have to hit absolutely everything here. They've got no reason not to try and take him down. They've got plenty of money, and there it is, making sure he can't take the AWP into the next round. Ladies and gentlemen, it's FaZe 10, Mousesports 1. As we enter round number 12 now, the buy comes out once more. The money's not been too awful for Mousesports, to think about it. They haven't had to take that many ecos as they keep saving weapons time and time again. This time, the double up set up once more. Really do need to see this work out for them. Do we need to see a change of pace? Maybe someone go for a hyper-aggressive kill towards Squeaky Door, for example, or challenge A main. It seems that they don't really have the utility to really justify it right now as Chris J goes for another pretty standard setup here. But look at the damage being done. Great stuff at the start, but even better from Carrigan. Finds Snack straight away. They might commit to this as Chris J has to pull back towards the site.
They think better of it, though, Henry. They're not going to just go all in just yet. And again, that disciplined approach by FaZe shining through. They just back away, lumber their way back to T-spawn. Bomb in Carrigan's hands once more. There's so much time left. Mousesports can't completely bite down on this B side, so they're going to start to move back onto mid. They have 2 players, Oscar and Rops. Rops gets flashed out. Oscar goes down. Again, FaZe doing an excellent job of peeling away the defenders. He did just see a glimpse of Rock into connector. And it's only Sonny that's came back and done anything for Mousesports. I'm getting a bit of deja vu here, Henry, because every round is just looking far too comfortable for FaZe. But Chris J, he's given them a chance.
I feel like they can win this round still. Chris J, these are the sort of rounds he can deliver in. It's now a 3 versus 2, but Sonny, he does go down straight away. We did need at least one frag there to stand a chance. 35 seconds, Chris. He's going to have to pull a rabbit out of the hat here if he's got any chance of pulling this one off. Bomb planted, no kip, and no hope really now, as he'll have to just fall back and hope for the best. Nico should take him down here. Might have been spotted though. Chris J could find him. He's going to give the call at least. You see Nico communicating with his teammates there as to where he is. Once again, they'll triangulate around his position and try and take him down. Do not let him save anything here. An AWP going to the next round is always very dangerous, especially in the hands of a player like Chris J. But it's going to be 11-1, Vince. This is not the game I promised the crowd. I thought this was going to be excellent, and they'd be going toe-to-toe and giving us everything we wanted, but so far it's been a bit of a damn squib, I would say.
It has. FaZe in fine form, and honestly, Mousesports have just looked flat. Chris J has at least put himself 1 kill closer to saving the AWP. Down goes Nico, but there's so many funds in the back pocket of FaZe that they don't care too much about that. It does, however, mean that Mousesports have a little bit of power to play off. That's a hell of a flick by Guardian, though, onto Oscar. And here is the second kill. He saw a pixel a few moments prior to the shot onto Rops. Finished off the kill, and 11-1, Henry. It really does paint the full picture of how this map's been going.
Yeah, it's difficult to eject Jeopardy into this one when it's not really coming together for Mousesports whatsoever. But we're going to hope they can get the 11-4. We do need... That's still a doable game here. In fact, they've saved the AWP. We can see whether they can potentially make this round happen, but Rain is just absolutely bullying Robs in that middle area. He's now 2-13, Vince. He's another young star of this team. We need him posting numbers, and you've got to just adjust. If that position is getting destroyed by Rain every single time, which we've actually seen the POV of Rain coming out maybe 4 or 5 times now, killing Robs there, maybe stop playing it. Change the setup. Let's just let them have middle. That's just not working. Either way, there's another frag coming through. It's going to be 12-1 by the looks of things. Carrigan just suffocating them towards Oscar. Remember, he's got the scout, not the AWP. And his teammates is not putting up a fight here whatsoever. Sonny probably gets 1 here. Not even that. It's going to be another clean sweep by the looks of things. Oscar and his scout in a 5 versus 1.
And down he goes to Nico's hands. Didn't ever have a chance at snaking his way out of connector and having an impact. It does mean that Mousesports will have another buy, but they've had so many rifle rounds so far, and none of them really paying off. That one lonely round, an island in a sea of terrorist rounds. And even then, they only kept 2 players alive.
One thing I will say, I've casted plenty of FaZe games on Cash where they've had 12-3 leads, and it can go wrong, Vince. 12-3 scorelines are not a foregone conclusion, but we might not even get there. This could be the 13-1 coming in. We'll see what happens. Oscar did get 1 back in return. I was really hoping they were going to run away with that A push. That's what I wanted to see, though. At least they're still trying different things. They've been very stale so far, Mousesports. This time actually pushing in towards A main, trying to get that first pick. They traded kills, but unfortunately, FaZe, even if it was an equal trade, they'd have the advantage. They actually have a 4 versus 3. Chris J knows he has to make something happen here. Can't rest on his laurels as he pushes in towards the B storage area. Still a minute to work with. This is not an ideal weapon, as you can see, to try and clearing out close range angles, but he's got himself a decent spot here. Oh dear. Well, it looks pretty good. Flashbang though, slightly overpowered there for him, and that should be it at this point. Look how perfect this is. They've got the smokes down, the Molotovs in every position. They're not giving away a single thing here. Not only did they take away vision from Headshot, they're pushing whoever's there towards the bomb site, and unfortunately the site is completely open for Mousesports here. This has to be another save.
Indeed it does. I'm a bit demoralized watching this game for Mousesports right now, honestly.
Yeah, how do you get yourself back into this one? He's going to go down as well. That's the AWP gone. And now Snacks in a 4 versus 1. At least he got that kill. Will he stay alive with the AK? He's not that he's had that AK for quite some time.
It's about to get pincered, though, you have to feel. FaZe again, they have so much money going through into the final round of this half. They are definitely going to throw the kitchen sink at Snacks. Not required. Rain's AK will do it all for them. This has been lightning quick as well. You went AFK for a few moments to come back and the map's nearly done.
It feels like it's been about 5 minutes. Well, final round of the first half, guys. I'm interested to see what Stunner's going to bring us the halftime report. what can you say about this one? But that will be coming up soon, so look out for that. We're going to have the FAMASTers here. The CZ, 1M4, no kids, barely any utility. FaZe looking for pretty much the perfect half here. 14-1 would be catastrophic for Mousesports. 13-2, at least you could still win a pistol, maybe have a chance here. Chris J has opened things up. Nice little push to take down Carrigan there. They have the lead. Chris J finds the AK-47. Oscar has found the bomb, in fact. They actually have a chance here, Vince. They might be able to at least take this final round of the first half. Rob's boosted up. This is looking good. I'm almost certain Mouse can do this.
Playing for a bit of pride now, our Mouse. They do go over. Rain will have them dead to rights, however. And his spidey senses are tingling. Two-player boost. He's going to Molotov. This could ruin so much for the CTs. They have to go out to the open, and Rain is going to strike. The other two counter-terrorists who were boosted have to just get the hell out of there. And Rops and Chris J have both been taking a battering. Nico now going to have a quick clear across. Finds himself snacks, but that's going to be at the cost of his life. Guardian. That's fire, dude. You don't want to run through that. He's going to take a bit of damage himself, but this is the best chance Mousesports have had for a good 10 or so rounds. And even then, it's going to be another post plant. Plus, they've got Rain making moves around the back. He's found Snacks. It's labored. Finally finishes off the kill. And that could be the moment that sees FaZe take the 14-1 halftime scoreline. Chris J should get the kill onto Rain, but remember, they've got to get to the bomb. There's no kits and only a HE to play with. Chris J's going to get the first kill, but it just feels like a drop in the bucket at this stage.
I think you might be right. The bomb is ticking away at some pace. It is going to be the 14-1. It's going to be the biggest landslide we've had in the tournament so far. Olaf Meister looking to close things out here. He might even have to, but here we go. There's a chance, 1 versus 1, but I think the bomb's too far gone, Vince. It is going to finish up. Robs, unfortunately, can't do anything about it. That's going to be so demoralizing for Mousesports, but you have to just sit in awe at the clinic the FaZe have just put on again. Stunner, what's it like down there?
Oh, the air is warm down here. There's a lot of breathing going on, Henry, I can tell you that, as well as a lot of breathing in that Mousesports booth. Honestly, not going the way you would have thought it had. But I've got something more eventful. I've got a ticket to the Asus Rock sofa area. So if you catch this, you and a friend can come sit in the Asus Rock sofa area for the rest of the day. You ready? All right. You and a friend, come on down, man. Hey, Henry, who do you think's gonna win this one?
Oh, I've got a sneaking suspicion FaZe might just have it. Vince, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm going to go alongside with you. I think that's a safe bet here, to be honest.
If anyone is feeling like Mousesports can pull this one back and it happens, then all the credit to you. It all starts, though, with a pistol, Vince, and we'll see what they can do here. This is going to be one of the most difficult comebacks, potentially, of CSGO history. You're on the big stage. You're 14-1 down. No one's performing. They can win the pistol. He's going to take it round by round.
I mean, history could be made if Mousesports pull this off. This honestly would be an unbelievable comeback, but everything's stacked against them. As you say, it's not even as if one player is super carrying and everyone else is having a rough game. I mean, just no one has really stood up. Chris J's landed some pretty nice shots, but it seemed after that TK round where it's a 2v2 and he got the team kill and they lost, they just never recovered from that point. Nico, though, is going to have himself a handful of terrorists pushing his angles, whereas Olaf Meister at the back is going to be looking to rain down some power, but did Nico just land that through smoke?
Just a little tap there.
Well, Mousesports just getting no luck, of course.
No.
Just straight ream through smoke.
Well, that's the bomb down at least, so there is a chance here. Kit available for carrying. He's also got the smoke as well, which does make things a little bit more chaotic when the defuse does come in. Oscar knows he has to start landing shots here. They can't get too close, but Nico's just not missing a thing. 5 versus 3 now. Oh my goodness, Nico is just an absolute beast. He's going for it, boys. He's going for the ace. 4 kills to his name. Robs has been taken down. And Nico lands the final nail in the coffin. Get him out of here. Mousesports 1, FaZe 15. And it doesn't get crispier than that. That was one of the first kills through the smoke, and he doesn't miss a beat. My God, this guy's good.
A real declaration, stamping the authority down. headshots all day long, and as you say, the final nail has just been smashed into the coffin, and that coffin is now being buried very quickly.
Well, Carrigan, he'll find what could be one of the final kills of this map. 5 versus 4 as quick as that, trying to get the first pick. But we've always said this, Vince, it's a best of 3. It doesn't actually matter what the scoreline is. This one's over. FaZe will be taking this map. We move on to Dust 2 next. That might not be good news. We've seen what FaZe can do on Dust 2 as well. They get put on an even more scary show, I'd say, against Optic at one point. That was actually amazing to watch at times. But Mousesports, 5 versus 4. No grenades. 1 Galil, and they're taking damage. Snacks. He'll be positioned towards Squeaky Door. Made his way out. They'll sneak through the smoke here, but Nico, ready and waiting, does take significant damage. But it feels like we're coming to a logical conclusion. I think this might be the first 16-1 game of the tournament. And it's here on the big stage. Snacks doing whatever he can, but this is it now. Christian will go down. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for FaZe. It doesn't get much better than that.
Clinical, comfortable performance in the end. We go across to Dust 2. And Mousesports have just got to get that as far in the back of their mind as possible.
I absolutely agree. They just need to move on. It's warming up on the big stage. It's different from the studio environment. Sure, the nerves are going to be there. They haven't got players that have played a ton on the stage. They've definitely done a lot this year. But for now, FaZe just feel that they're running away with this series. There's no doubt in my mind they're making the semis. With Dust 2 coming up, I'd like to build up some romance, but Mousesports just haven't turned up in any facet whatsoever.
No, they haven't. Their starter players haven't really shown up. Their tactics weren't really working. They were being comprehensively outplayed in every single turn in the map, and I don't see Dust 2 really going a different way.
I think I have to agree with you. Well, the players are going to go pick up themselves up and see what they can do going forward to Dust 2. I'll guess we'll do the same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere. Hopefully Mousesports can bounce back after this break.